Hi, everyone. This is Dwayne from VMHA, the founder of VMHA. And we have a special treat today. I won't spill the beans too much, but today I have a special guest, and that is none other than Ryan Pasco. Ryan, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so going back to when I first joined the service, I, entered the Navy when I was 18 years old. I chose the Corpsman MOS, specialized in psych. Following that, obviously, what this video is going to be about, there was a lot of struggles that I was going through. In the midst of that, I, traversed across every, most every career field, eventually landing on the mental health track, working toward becoming a therapist. And I unfortunately had to make the decision to switch off of that and into IT. And there's an incredible amount to expand on, but I'm going to go ahead and let Dwayne lead here.
Fair enough. Appreciate that, Ryan. Well, Marines have a special relationship with their corpsmen. And
Mhm.
so appreciate you for everything you've done and all the Marines and sailors you've served in your past. So thank you very much for that, Ryan.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so I understand, Ryan, that you heard some pretty good news recently. Could you share for those kind of watching or listening what news you recently heard?
Yeah, so very surprising in the short amount of time, but just picture this. I'm leaving my driveway. I'm going down the street, and out of nowhere, very early, I see an email pop up on my phone saying your claim decision. And I had to keep driving because I had to get to work. I scramble into the work parking lot. I pull open my phone. I sign into, through ID me and everything. And I look at that PDF and I'm like, oh my God. Like, it was a partial approval because I still have some physical stuff,
Yep.
waiting in the works. 80%, 70% of it was my mental health rating. And then the other, 10% from accumulated physical. I could not believe it. Going back to my much younger self who thought that, I could never be approved for this. I thought I would never qualify. I thought I didn't have the evidence to substantiate it. And then just 9 years later, after service,
Yep.
and this happened.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. That's amazing, Ryan. And when I first heard, I think I called you as soon as I saw the
Yeah.
post on online. I was thrilled, happy for you, and and you and I connected on a personal level because when
Mhm.
you were first doing your research and you were deciding which companies to choose from, you were very clear about some of the reasons that you chose to come with VMHA and allowing us to support you. And that was really, near and dear to me, especially because of the fact that you're local in the state. But can you tell us a little bit about what your experience was working with the VMHA, why you chose VMHA to support you for your mental health claim?
Yeah. So, you know, for everybody out there who might be in the same situation, this was 9 years later. So if you're going to be putting in a mental health claim, you need to make sure that you have rock solid evidence. And, one of those pieces is going to be a independent medical review. And, with my family's stability on the line, I needed to make sure that I spent as much as I needed to, facilitate this. I needed to make sure that the source was good. I needed to make sure, that there was legitimacy. And, as you'll see on the VMHA site, you kind of review some points that maybe not so great providers might do. They'll ask for back pay. They'll, maybe take too long to process it. There'll be a lot of barriers to kind of completing this process. And this process is very sensitive. You'll be opening up about some of your deeper issues, which is very, very difficult for men, especially. And every step of the way was handled with grace and then some. My provider was wonderful. We had 5 minutes left, which was very surprising for the amount of things I had to expand on, bullet point to bullet point, and it was just worth every bit of it. I'm really I'll tell everyone out there, submit it or at least make an attempt as soon as you can, because if I were to multiply the amount times 9 years, that's half a house. It's so substantial. My life could have been dramatically changed from that point. And not to say that it won't be now, but
Yep.
just there's no harm in making an attempt. And just to further verify that, one of the issues that I had on the physical side was hearing loss. Did it qualify for a percent? No, but it was granted at 0%, meaning if it gets worse,
Yep.
then it could be bumped up and then, help down the road. So even if your issue doesn't get the original percent, you can always come back with more evidence, maybe, an IMO, anything to help boost the rating.
That's great guidance, Ryan. Great guidance. And
Mm,
and there's so many other veterans out there, especially when it comes to mental health, who've
mm.
waited, right? They've waited, or maybe they're still waiting right now because they're feeling apprehensive, they're feeling uncertain because of stigma and a lot of other things they've heard. What do you say to them? What do you want to say to them to help them understand why they need to stop waiting to move forward with their mental health claim?
That's a loaded one, but
I know that
I'll try to speak from my heart on this one, so I'll be a little bit tangential here
okay.
because I'm gonna kind of pull this from the heart.
Take your
You
time.
know, initially my thought was my issues didn't matter, that I would get shut down, and that I just did not have a reason to even try because at the time it was just me, getting out of service, trying to find my way in the world, trying to find my career path, trying to find a partner. It was just me at the time. And I just, you know, like other people who are experiencing the same issues, depression, primarily, it's a very difficult hurdle to overcome. And I'm speaking to you out there that, if you want the resources to help alleviate that burden, because energy is an extreme scarcity when you're going through these things, you
Yeah.
have to try. You have to, save up enough to put in toward the resources that you need, the medical opinions, reaching out to other service members for buddy statements, just anything that you need. Um, there's stigma, you know, anyone who belongs to the suck it up culture, nearly all men, whether it's by your parents or society as a whole. For me, it was a double, triple, quadruple down because I'm a guy. I grew it up in suck it up culture. I was in the mental health field. I was trying to
Mhm.
avoid military retaliation, and I
Yep.
know a lot of you out there who are currently, active duty. It's a great fear, and it's still not gone away. I've talked to people who are currently serving right now. That when demands for military personnel go down, the room to get promoted becomes, it becomes much less, becomes a lot harder,
Mm.
and every factor will be used against you. And this will further deter a lot of people from seeking help. And as much as they have services available, no one's going to take it because you have a massive behemoth that's sort of, unfortunately battling against that.
Wow. Man, I'm glad I asked you that question, Ryan, because
Mm,
I think you had me tearing up a little bit there
mm,
as you were answering and speaking so candidly. So I appreciate you for that. And this is something that touches me deeply too, because for us, and I'm so thrilled that you felt it. This is more than just a business, right? This is us taking care
mm,
of our people, and we I think do the best job we can of striking a balance of making sure we create a veteran centered experience that our veteran community knows that we're here, we care for them, and we want them to succeed throughout the claim and then beyond the claim. Because ultimately, for us, it's about increasing your quality of life, our quality of life, and the mental health of our veteran community. So for me, there's nothing more touching than knowing that a fellow veteran experienced like VMHA and our staff, from anyone from an admin to our providers to me included, and they walked away feeling like, no, here's a team that gets it, here's a team that supports me, and here's a team that wants me to live a better life because I deserve to live a better life.
Mhm.
Ah, man, I think we hit it. Anything else you think we need to share? I think we could wrap this up now.
Yeah, let me take a look. Well, so if we were going to cycle through the rest of the questions, or you kind of want to leave it within like short and sweet, because I see we're at that 10-minute mark already. Up to you.
No, it's if there's anything that's top of like kind of on your heart that you're like, hey, I want to
Mm.
cover this topic, we can cover that, or we can kind of wrap it here. I'm keeping this kind of
Yeah.
flexible and loose.
I think one thing I'd have to add is for those of you who are by yourself, it's not just about what you're going through now, but it's about what might happen in the future. You know,
Mm,
I have my wife, I have my son, and I have my mother and father-in-law, and I have to support them. And I've sincerely struggled from year to year through everything I've gone through with the issues that I've been dealing with. And I haven't had the resources to get the help I want and need. And, you know, think about the family or the life that you want in the future and know that this is the step toward getting there. And it's a foundational piece, you know. And just to quickly go over the things that made my claim a success. We have the independent medical review, which I chose the VMHA for, no better source than that. Get your buddy statements,
yeah,
get all your medical records up front. Um, and in my case, because I made a young and dumb mistake, which also substantiated the claim, I had a legal charge. I got that paperwork and, I uploaded it with it. And, it's just another thing to help support, the mental health claim cause. But just get everything ready, and there's, they now have a streamlined submission process.
yeah.
My intent to file was May 18th. My submission was July 26th. My approval was August 12th, or whenever the original day was. Like, we could just say August. So it's pretty unheard of that, this claim went through in just literally a couple months. Back pay came in right away. The monthly is coming in on the 1st. It's just, I never thought this would happen, but it did.
Amazing. Thanks, Ryan. And for all of you that are listening to Ryan, I think there's one more piece I want to share just about how much Ryan cares. When I first reached out to Ryan and asked, hey, would you be willing to write a kind of a success story for us? Ryan goes, well, I could write it, but would you prefer a video? I was like, oh yeah, a video would be great. And I think he said, well, why don't we do a dialogue? Because I think that'd be more authentic. And I was like, no, Ryan, like, yes, like, that's a great idea. So much everything you're seeing right now is actually I'm grateful for Ryan for caring about the community more than himself, for wanting to share this message. And that's why we're here. That's why we're sharing now. And so, Ryan, I thank you. I appreciate you for allowing us to support you. And I'm thankful that you now are in a stronger position to take care of yourself, your mental health, and those that are looking for you for support. So thank you,
Mhm.
sir.
All right. Thank you, Dwayne. And to everyone out there, just go for it.
All right, let's end it there.
All right.